Oh man, it's been a while since I've been in a CJ-5, and Rogers is one you're not gonna forget. So let me get out, walk you around this thing, and show you a few things. And let me tell you, she's tight. Oh shit! God damn, Roger, he needs a tilt column in this thing. So this is Roger's CJ-5, and it's got a spring over and quite a few WFO parts. And on this round up at the shop, it already had the spring over. It was on 33s, but it came into the shop with no engine. And we decided to do a little repower on it. But before I show you what's underneath the hood, let me just show you around a little bit about what he's got going. So pretty classic CJ-5, original inside. It's got a full roll cage, it's been in there a while. Everybody's seen these cages around. They fit good, they work pretty good. And due to space constraints, he's got a tire rack that holds gas cans in the back here. And with this new engine we put in, it's definitely going to need a little more fuel capacity because it's thirsty. One of the really cool things about this 5 is when the spring over was done, there was always a problem with rear driveline length, pinion angle, and getting a V8 combo with a good 4-speed in here. So what Roger went ahead and did is bought a Curry rear 9-inch. So when it came into us, it had a Curry high pinion 8.8 sitting in the rear on spring over. Now here's what wasn't good about what it had. It did not have a torque arm, and also it had the 8.8 high pinion, which if you read the fine print, Curry says it's good for 33-inch tires and not a V8. And it only had 31 spline axle shafts. So what we went ahead and did in the rear end, because we were doing some work under the hood, is we went ahead and put a true high 9 in the rear, and then we added our diff skid to protect the pinion. And then at the same time we did a torque arm, which is hidden on the back side there. And in order to attach the torque arm to something strong, we did our belly pan and crossmember kit as well. We also knew that the 31 spline axle shafts were not going to hold up in the rear end with that little gem that's under the hood there. So we ordered a set of 35 spline chromoly axle shafts. So now the rear end is true high 9, 35 spline shafts, and it had a Detroit before. And all you guys that have a CJ-5 that you actually want to drive it around, especially jam gears, do not put a Detroit in there. This thing would go from one lane to the other, pop, bang, click. So we went ahead and put an ARB in there. So it's got a 35 spline ARB, so it has no push and pull and pop from the rear end, so you can handle all the horsepower that's underneath the hood that it's dishing out. When it came in, it had 33-inch tires, and we went ahead and put some 35-inch BFG KM3s on here. And as you can see, still 15-inch rims, has that classic look on it. And when you flex it out, it just tucks up into the fenders, a little rub on the plastic, but no rub on the body. It's a spring over on BDS Wrangler springs, like we always do. So for the front end, we built this probably 6-7 years ago. So this front end is it actually was a Wagoneer 44 front end that's been narrowed, and it sits about 56 inches wide. It's got reed knuckles on it with full inverted T high steer by us. It's got our front shackle hanger for shackle reversal, and then the shackle reversal, the shackles actually sleeve through the frame. ARB in the front as well, chromoly axles, Bilstein shocks. So he dropped it off, it had no winch. If you're building a CJ-5, you're trying to keep it classic, you're going with this 15-inch rim look. We sourced ourselves an 8274 off the old interwebs and a steel cable on this bad boy. So we got to keep it classic, just like it's off the farm in the 70s. So Andrew went ahead and built a bracket to fit the 8274 on this newer school Poison Spider front bumper. I guess you probably want to look under the hood and see what the real deal is here and why I'm smiling so much. So we went ahead and got a 6-liter LS from BD Turnkey Engines in Reno, and that's where we get all of our engines. So this one has the Texas Speed cam in it as well. I believe these are Speedmaster center dump headers, and on these are ceramic coated silver, no rust. And we add V-bands to the bottom of every one of these header packages that we do. Like always, mechanical fan, aluminum radiator, a steel shroud that Doug builds and tucks in here. Use this Cobra head for the air intake so the fan still clears with a mechanical fan. But as you can see under the hood, really clean, really classic. I mean, check this thing out. This is a little aluminum box. You can keep your registration papers and stuff in here. There's a little clip, your drug stash, whatever you want to put in here, you know. I'm not sure where he got that, but I would like to get one for my Jeep. Otherwise, pretty simple, pretty clean CJ-5. One thing I want to add that I forgot to tell you guys about what's going on underneath is there's certain things in a CJ-5 that just aren't possible. So one of them is V8 or 6-cylinder to an NV4500 5-speed and still keeping a rear driveline. Even going to an Atlas or a Dana 300 is very hard to do because the adapters are longer. So this Jeep has the absolute shortest package known to man with one exception. So this has a T18 Ford granny low 4-speed. So it's first is granny low, second, third, and fourth are basically your driving gears. And then the adapter from the transmission to the transfer case is only 3/4 of an inch thick. And it's running a Model 20 transfer case. So the Model 20 is the Texas pattern with the big hole. So it bolts directly up to the transmission, 3/4 inch adapter, the almost absolute shortest package. The only package that would be the same length but a little bit stronger is if you use that very hard to find 1 or 2 year Scout Dana 300 that had the Texas pattern but was a Dana 300. So even in putting an Atlas in here or a Dana 300 in here, you would shorten the drive shaft substantially, probably 4 inches at least. So having that package is what allowed us to have a 19-inch long rear driveline, and in conjunction with the True High 9, keep it at good angles and not vibrate and drive good down the highway. So, you know, I'm tired of talking about this thing. You know, I'm the boss and I get to test drive everything, so you know what that means. We're gonna go pull out on the highway and see what that puppy can do. I'm a little worried. It might even wheelie, so we'll see. Yeah, she's a little tight in here. I think on his wish list is a tilt column and maybe move the seat back, but he's doing the important things like us Americans would do and put those HPs under the hood first, if you know what I mean. Well, let's see if we get out in front of that moving truck, huh? Here we go. Yeah! Woo! Oh, missed fourth there a little bit. Sorry, Roger. And just like that, we're doing 80. And how many CJ-5s can you get on it, go 80, and be one finger on the steering wheel at 80 miles an hour? So you gotta love that. I hope he does. Woo! Nice. Turns on a dime being a CJ-5. I bet we could turn around in 2 lanes here. Look at that. Yeah, I know Roger's gonna like this. God, this thing's fun. Sounds great. Hope you liked it. Stay tuned for the next one.